Hi guys, and welcome to Cooking the Books with Heather. Today, for our recipe, we're going back to the Deep Run Roots cookbook, Vivian Howard's cookbook, and we're going to make fresh corn roasted in chicken drippings. So yesterday, which hopefully you'll have seen by now, we put up corn. So we spent all day putting up corn, shucking and taking it off the cob and all that stuff. And then we went to the grocery store and we bought chicken leg quarters. And so this morning my husband was looking in this book, turned the page from the putting up corn recipe and found this recipe and said, well, it's just kismet that we bought the chicken leg quarters, which is what this recipe calls for. And we've been working with corn because it's corn season. So we've got to make this recipe, except we didn't have any fresh corn left over, which is what this takes. And we didn't have enough of the other corn that we put up. We have a little bit left over in the refrigerator, but that we didn't freeze, but we didn't have enough for this recipe. So back out to get more corn. And now we're gonna make this recipe for you guys. So it's actually a very simple recipe, simple ingredients. And so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the corn off the cob. This is probably the hardest part of the whole thing because cutting corn off the cob is not fun. We do have a little thing that helps us cut corn off the cob, which we used yesterday, but we've used it mostly for the cream style corn. I think you can do it for whole kernels, but anyway, I'm just going to use a knife today. And that was actually pretty good, didn't go too far all over the place. And she doesn't really give any specifics as to how she wants you to cut this off the cob, just that it should be cut off the cob. And I'm, again, putting it in this liquid measure because it's the same measurements as other cups. Look at that, some silk. And so I'm going to keep cutting this off the cob. You can see we have both yellow and white. It doesn't really matter. A mix is good. All the same is good. Doesn't really matter. So that was pretty messy, as it always is. I dropped plenty on the floor. I'm going to show you one other thing. So if you want to try and get all of the juice out of the cob, you just run the back of your knife up and down and you get all the good parts out of the cob, so you leave less behind. And it looks like 5 years gave me almost exactly what the recipe called for. So next thing I'm going to add, this is some salt, some sugar, and some pepper, and just sort of mix that in with the corn, and I'll mix it up more when we put it on the baking sheet. But that's what we need to put in the corn. And now let me clean up just a little bit, and we're going to take care of our chicken. So really all we're doing at this point with our chicken is seasoning it. And I've already pre-mixed the salt and pepper that are supposed to go on to these. And this is the sheet I'm going to bake it on, so I decided I didn't need to go ahead and dirty another pan. I think this recipe calls for 4 chicken leg quarters. We had 3 kind of big ones. At least one of them's really big. So, and that's enough to feed our family, so that's all we're gonna do here. I'm just gonna season both sides and use all of the mixture. All right. Next, we're gonna go ahead and brown this. And after we get the chicken in the pan to brown, all I'm gonna do is pour that corn into this pan and spread it flat. So probably not gonna show you that part, but next we'll set up to brown the chicken on the stovetop. So I've got some oil heating in my pan. It's pretty much ready to go until it's sort of shimmering. It's only over medium heat. You're not supposed to like do this really hard and hot and fast. But we're just gonna brown the chicken in it. And I must confess, I did not measure the oil. It's not all going into the dish, so really it doesn't matter all that much, I think. But so we're gonna put these in skin side down to begin browning, just so they get sort of a head start. Need to fit this one in. I certainly wouldn't have been able to fit 4 in this pan, not at this size, but 3 fits perfectly. And now that this doesn't have chicken on it anymore, I'm going to go ahead and just pour the corn in and lose some more on the floor. And there's a little piece of husk. And we're just going to spread it across the pan. And we're going to cook the chicken right on top of this. Okay. And now I'm going to lay down some thyme sprigs, just where I'm gonna put the chicken on top of the thyme sprigs. So hopefully that works out. Maybe since they're 3, kind of like that. Pick a big one. That should be fine. Now I'm just waiting for my chicken to be brown on the skin side. One tip, don't try to move that. When you can move it, it'll be nice and brown. If you try to move it before it's brown, it'll stick. That's what happens when you use a not non-stick pan, so like stainless steel or cast iron, it might stick. These have been going for about 10 minutes. I turned them up because I do get a little impatient, but I'm going to take them out, and the skin on this one started shrinking up, so, and I'm just placing them over those thyme sprigs. Yeah, that side's not really skin side anymore on that one, but oh well. Place those over the thyme. We just had to turn that off. We just have to sear the one side. This should not be that difficult, but anyway. Okay. So my oven has been preheating at 400. And we're just going to slide that in there. This is what it looks like. Like I said, this one kind of, the skin came loose from the flesh, but it'll be fine. Thighs and legs can handle sort of extra cooking, and they're still pretty good. But my oven has been heating at 400 degrees, and so I'm just going to slide it in there, and it goes for about 45 minutes. So we'll be back in about 45 minutes. Okay, so it's been, my timer just went off. It's been 45 minutes, but I'm looking for really brown around the edges and really brown on the chicken. Although the chicken looks done, it's not as brown as I would like. So I'm gonna close it back up and let it go for maybe 10 more minutes. I'll let you know. I checked it. I took a little video when I checked it at 45 minutes. It was not getting brown around the edges, which is what she says it should be. So I let it go for about 15 more minutes. So we're gonna take it out now, and I've looked at it, and it's pretty brown. It does that every time. Get a nice facial. So here we go. We've got some brown bits around the edges of the corn, and then the interior will be more soft. So you just sort of mix it all together and serve the chicken on top of the corn. And this is done. I'm not even going to bother to check the chicken temperature because it definitely is done. I can tell just by looking. So that's it. Stay tuned to see how it tastes. Hey guys, today on Cooking the Books with Heather, we made fresh corn roasted in chicken drippings from the Deep Run Roots cookbook. This was a family recipe that she included, and it was certainly not chefy at all, in my opinion. It was pretty easy. It was, roasting chicken pieces. There weren't any strong flavors, strong herbs. I mean, there was thyme in it, but it really it wasn't an overpowering herb flavor. So my kids loved it, ate all of it, said it smelled like Thanksgiving because the roasted corn and the chicken, the sort of roasted poultry smell and flavor. So it was all good. 4 thumbs up from my family. And as far as ease, I would say anybody should be able to make this. It was super simple. The hardest part of it is cutting corn off the cob. They do make tools that help that. I haven't tried. I noticed at the grocery store they had something that looked like a donut, and it even caught the corn. Haven't ever tried that. Might be worth it to try. We'll see. I might try to find some reviews and read up on it. But anyway, yeah, highly recommended. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And we'll be back next week with another recipe. Thanks for watching.